And I suppose, talking about that, he's probably going to also have to revise downward the growth trajectory for South Africa's economic growth this year. What number is he likely to share with us based on previous figures?
Previous figures were towards the upper end, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean, he came in at 1.9% for this year. But obviously events since then, but even prior to those, what has changed fundamentally in the structure of the economy in South Africa between last year and this, that would lead to a tripling of growth from 0.6 last year to, let's call it 1.8, 1.9%. Nothing much, right? So I think even that was quite an optimistic growth rate, besides looking at the geopolitical risk that's come in since that point, the trade issues, and therefore that number will have to come down. The IMF recently has come up with a revised figure of around 1%. I think Treasury will be more optimistic than that, so somewhere between 1.9 and 1%. I'm thinking about 1.4, perhaps 1.3 might be where they land on that issue. But as you said, that does impact their planning in terms of revenue. The greater the economy grows, the more company profits are made, the more people are employed, and the more tax revenues they get. So the lower that number, the lower their revenue projections would be, meaning a bigger deficit sits there for them to plan or manage.
One economist we spoke to earlier on this morning spoke about him perhaps shifting the Reserve Bank's target range from 3 to 6% of inflation for inflation to 2.5 and 5.5. How does that help him?
What I think a lot of people have said is this range business is also not secure for the market, or it doesn't provide absolute confidence, because where's inflation going to be? Is 3% acceptable? Is 6%? Moving it down to 2.5 to whatever, 5.5, or 2 to 5, same problem.